Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back. So today we're going to be taking a look at an FPV wing. Now this is called the Zohd Orbit. However, this is the Zohd Orbit V2 that they're not stating anywhere. And why do I say that? Well, first of all, I don't know how the mechanism for clamping the wings was back then, but this one is super secure. And if we take a look at the bottom here, this is where the big difference is. They've added a brand new plastic piece to make sure, nothing gets scratched and you don't damage the bottom every time you go to land. This plastic piece is only found on the fuselage here. Let's talk about some of the specs here. Now, it's using a 2204 1870 kV motor, which I find to be absolutely efficient as hell. Now, if you're looking for a screamer, this is not going to be the one for you, but it can be if you switch out the motors. Now, if you take a look here, the top cover for clamping this down or closing this, they are using two magnets, which are really strong, and they have some fused fused foam with plastic pieces here to keep the overall integrity a lot better. And if it were to break, usually if you take a look here, if this were to break, you can easily put that back together. Let's just take a little zoom in. If you see here that there's that plastic piece right there, usually this would rip right off if you get into a hard crash, which is something normal and expected. And then you can easily just go ahead and glue that back up together, which is really nice, so you don't have foam just basically disintegrating everywhere. So that's one nice thing that I find currently. And if you take a look inside, we have the servos into place here, and what these are actually moving, if you take a closer look, is this right here. As you can tell, can you see that? I'm moving the servo here. And the way that works, which I really like in the Zohd models, is if you take a look here, you have this really long bar that goes across and connects to the ailerons here. And if I move it, it actually moves the whole thing. Now, usually with wings, you just have one point which is actually moving the whole wing, so it can't, introduce some kind of flex under high speed here. But this seems to be very stable and really nicely set up, as you can tell, because the whole flap here, or the whole aileron, is actually getting moved because of that bar that's going all the way across here. So that's something really nice to see here. Now, comparing the wing clamping mechanism to the Zohd Nano Talon, this thing outperforms that clamp times a trillion. It is so secure, it's insane. So that's something that is a huge plus in my opinion. The Zohd Nano Talon was before I lost it, actually. It just spun out on iNav and landed in someone's basically farm that I just couldn't get it to. Anyways, so let's continue here. Now for ESC, they're using a 30 amp ESC with a 5-volt BEC on board, and it is from Flycolor. I've tested a lot of Flycolor's products, and they are very good. But however, I personally will possibly change this out because I will be installing an iNav installation here, and it does have a pretty good amount of space. Now the motor I will not be replacing because I want this to be a long range setup, because this thing cruises around 3 to 4 amps, which is really spectacular here for efficiency. Now, there's also something you need to take note of, which is about the propeller. Now, the only downside of this motor, and the only thing that really kind of upsets me, is the fact that this motor has a proprietary propeller, which you must purchase if you break. However, these propellers will last a lot longer than they usually do on our quads, but if you get into a hard enough crash, you could probably ruin it. And as you can tell here, it just, you just slide it on and it locks into place. However, on my Zohd Nano Talon, when I ever tried to remove it, I just couldn't remove it because it was just holding on so well. Now for motor, if you wanted to replace the motor, this is really nice. You have one screw right there which will allow this whole thing to come off, and you can replace your motor if you damaged it or you just wanted to upgrade it. But again, if you're planning on upgrading this motor, I recommend you upgrade the ESC as well, because this motor is unbelievably efficient. I mean, I truly am in love with this. So let's take a look at the front side here with the faceplates. Now, as you can tell here, they provide us with 3 faceplates which are connected via magnets here. And everything is pre-installed. I didn't have to do anything here. All you really have to do is put your battery and basically your receiver, and you can just start flying, which is really nice, if you didn't want your FPV equipment. So if we can take a look here, this is for the Mobius type style action camera. So if you wanted to use one, as you can tell here, this is the new Mobius Maxi, which is I think is a little bit thinner than the normal Mobius because it doesn't hold so well. So you might have to get kind of creative. And if we take a look here, it will slide right through. It does have some sort of good grip, but I think, and again, this one is a little bit thinner than the older Mobius version, which was created for. Take that into consideration if you're buying the Mobius Maxi, which is the newest FPV camera from Mobius. Now, they also give us another plate here and another one. I think this would be for like your GoPro type, RunCam 3S type, but the hole is super tiny. I don't know, you're going to be seeing a lot of, what is it called? I think you'll be seeing Let's bring in a GoPro real quick and just take a look here, because I haven't checked these out just yet. Okay, so I think that's how you would set up your GoPro, and actually it's not. So I don't know, this is possibly not meant for a GoPro, because you have the normal kind of GoPro or Firefly type holder here, which I broke mine. That's why I'm not unable to show you. And this is probably just for your normal FPV cam setups here. So if you're planning on installing a Runcam 3S, you're gonna have to do a little modifications, because it won't fit in there. Or probably might be some 3D printed part that'll go there. And also same goes for the Runcam session here. You know, I'm trying to force it in, but I don't want to force it in too much. The front case won't cover it without some modifications needed, as you can tell right there. But you can use the normal type of GoPro Heroes, which this is for right here, and that type of action camera. I think you should be totally fine in that perspective. But then again, they also provide you with these two mounting holes right here. If you take a look here, which they give you this little thing here, which would go up, and then you can wrap whatever you want here. Your FPV camera, for example, if you add your Mobius in there, or a Mobius up here, or you know, just put a 3D printed part for this to actually mount it into place, so you can do that as well. So that's really nice in that perspective. I did have a couple hard crashes with my Zohd Nano Talon with this, and what's really nice is that they actually just come off and I just glued them back into place, and that was good. I actually had to do that like twice. Now let's take a look at the internals again here. So as you can tell here, they do provide us with a battery strap, which is a terrible battery strap. I wish they gave us a better battery strap. This is not going to fit anything really. I mean, anything like probably like a slim 3S it would fit. Anything else other than that, this battery strap won't fit, and it's going to be a pain to actually try to get to it and replace it with something. Maybe we can pop this off, but I'll have to double check everything before doing that. First, I want to take it first maiden before modifying this. Now, as you can tell here, we have this piece of wood right there. It's kind of, you can see the outline of it. So what I'm planning on doing is popping this open later on, replacing the ESC, removing this control board, or the stabilization flight controller kind of in a way board, and installing a full-blown iNav setup with GPS on this, because I have high hopes for this to be my new long-range testing setup because of its efficiency. And I've also picked up some lithium ion packs. Now, I picked up both these flat and the tube size, where both of them are on top of each other, because these are a 4S lithium pack. I'll leave a link to where I got these down below. I got them from the UK, so if you're in Europe, you're going to be in luck. You'll probably be able to receive these like I did. I haven't tested them. They do have a couple different kinds. This one, supposedly, they do these in-house, so that's really nice. It discharged at 6C constant and 18C for 60 seconds. Which is 18 times 3,120 milliamps. That's the current it could do for 60 seconds. And 30C for 3 seconds, which is 30 times 3,120 milliamps here. But a 6C constant, I think, is going to be perfect for this, and it should give me some really insane long range, and that's the idea, and that's what I'm hoping for here. All right, so let's check out how to mount the wings here, because it's really nice fit. I mean, I was really impressed. Coming in from the Zohd Nano Talon, I didn't expect this. I mean, as you can tell here, this comes separate. You can actually remove this from the wing, so it can make it very portable and easy to basically move from place to place. So what you want to do is you want to just put that in, and then you just close this. It's going to close really nicely. I mean, it holds here. There's this little plastic piece that allows the wing to go in there, and as well on the bottom here, and this is not going anywhere. I mean, this is really nicely, it's a really nice fit here, and same thing goes for this side as well. So all we got to do now is just bring the other one, push it in, and we are good to go. And this is a really solid. I mean, I really have to put a lot of pressure there to get that off there, but it's really solid compared to Zohd Nano Talon. And I really like this, and it's a huge plus. Now, also about the winglets here, if we take a look here, most of them come in 2 pieces. However, this is molded from 1 piece, so it'll allow the air to travel a lot better, since there's going to be no gaps or anything. So it's a lot smoother surface here. So obviously that should increase its overall performance somewhat. However, and again, I'm really still just barely beginning into RC wings. This is, I think, my 4th wing now. But to see all of these, and I'm actually glad this is one of my later models, because I really don't want to wreck it like I did with the Sonic AR600 and other things as well. So right now what I will do is set up iNav after I do its first maiden. Unfortunately, I can't do its maiden today because we have very terrible weather. And as you can tell here, we do have our CG marks, which is also something really nice to see here from Zohd. So it is a 900 millimeter wingspan, and it is slightly larger than the the S800 reptile wing, so it is slightly larger than my S800, which is what I'm calling the B2 bomber, because I have remodified it to run a lot of other crazy things. Now let's talk about what I'm planning on doing with this, and if you guys actually want to see a video of me doing that. Now what I'm planning on setting up here is an Hakcrc VTX with the Runcam Split 2S, so I don't have to keep carrying HD cameras with me, and the iNav, I think 411 wing, because it's the smallest and it'll fit here really nicely. And what I'll have to do is I'm gonna have to remove this, let's just actually pop these open real quick. What I'm gonna have to do is remove that wood inside there. You can kind of get an idea of where it's at. So I'll just bring a screw and just kind of keep just pushing down on it here. It's glued into places, I believe. I don't see any screws to actually pop this open in any sort of way. And I really want to pop this open and see how much space I have. Obviously replace the ESC here. Not that it's because it's a bad ESC. I just want just a better, fatter ESC that can handle possibly crashes, because in crashes you do get a lot of voltage spikes, and if it's not up to par, then you can say bye-bye, which happened to me with the stock ESC from the S800. But these, I've never had any issues, especially with the Zohd Nano Talon, and I'm not expecting any issues with this. However, there's also something actually to take note of here that I just remembered. With one of the wings, I think it's this one. Let me just double check. So yeah, it is this one. Something is catching. Let me show you. Something is actually catching here. If you can hear it, can you hear that right there? So this is kind of a little bit scary, because let's just say the flight controller told it to go here, or actually a little bit further, but it was stuck here, and then it realized that it was still moving, and all of a sudden it pushed a little bit more, and then it went way too high. Can you see that? Because it is catching on something in there. Now, I don't know what it's catching on, and if anyone knows, let me know down in the comment section. It's somewhere inside here, so I'm gonna have to double check this and see what I can do to fix it. But we'll see how well this is gonna perform in its official maiden flight. If we do notice any issues with this, or just after a while it'll just get better. So if you want to see the other wing, we don't have that issue. It's just really smooth sailing all the way across. Can you see that? So there we go. That one is catching somewhere. I thought it was catching on the side, but it's actually catching between the hinges here somewhere. See, as you can tell, it's not as smooth as that one. I have to kind of apply a little extra force here for it. So hopefully the servos can handle that, and we'll get to see that eventually. So they also do provide us with the instruction manual, which is very simple. You don't really have to do much here. So if we take a look here, we have, there it is. Well, that's the ESC, left aileron, mode switches. Okay, so we have the channel order that it works is AETR. Okay, so here all we're gonna need is aileron, elevator, and throttle. We're not gonna need the rudder here, because it doesn't have, because all it has is the ailerons and the elevator, and that's why they call them ailerons. So that's what we need. Then we're gonna skip channel 4 here, which would be the rudder, and go to channel 5. Now, why would channel 5 be there? Channel 5, it actually has 3 modes, if I remember correctly. It has beginner mode and advanced mode. So beginner mode will help you take off. It will also keep every time you turn and let go of the stick, it'll come back and balance itself, and it'll keep fighting the wind for you. And then you also have advanced user. I think you have 2 modes. You have full-blown acro, which you can, there's no stabilization at all, and there's another one with 3-axis stabilization, which I believe won't allow you to pitch too low or too high, but it'll allow you to do flips, rolls if you wanted to, so you can do that as well. And here we have a button for the gyro calibration. What you have to take a note of is when you boot this guy up, it'll blink, but make sure it's leveled. As soon as you plug in the battery, don't start touching it. Plug it in, wait a little bit, and then all of a sudden you'll start seeing this LED, I think it's right there, start blinking, and then wait for it to blink really fast, and then just to end the fast blinking. Then you know it's calibrated, and then you can go ahead and do whatever the heck you want with it before you take off. So take that into consideration. But if you accidentally, there's the LED over there. But if you accidentally maybe moved it and you wanted to recalibrate it without removing your battery, you can just actually use the, if you take a look here, it's actually mounted like this. You can press that button right there, which would be in here. So you probably bring a screwdriver or something and then click it in there, and you should be good to go. As you can tell, it's in there. They left a little opening so you can access it, and those are the LEDs I was talking about. And usually what they do, especially with these Zohd Nano Talon, with the top cover, they leave holes for you to exactly see it. However, on this one, they haven't done that. So yeah, you take that into consideration also. So overall, it's a really nice plane. It's going to be really efficient and it's really beginner friendly. I can tell you that from the first Zohd Nano Talon. However, this is obviously, I think, will perform a lot better than the Zohd Nano Talon. This is what I think, because the wings on that one were really good. But, you know, the iNav, for some reason, I've seen a lot of people get their Zohd Nano Talons killed with iNav, which is something that actually happened to me. I went into that spin roll of death, and I think it's because I stalled and it was really windy. So I don't really know. Once I get the plane back, I think I do have the footage on board, which I'll be running a rescue mission tomorrow once the weather clears up. And we'll see how well that goes. But overall, this is a really nice model so far. And I will be taking it out soon. And let me know if you guys want to see me upgrade this to iNav build with GPS, return to home, and all these other crazy things. If you guys want to see it on the channel. If you don't want to see it, then I'll just do it in the background and then just show you the end result of how I went about doing it. So right now I'm actually designing and 3D printing a mount for the Runcam 2S here, the Runcam Split 2S, which records in HD. And I think it should make for a really great setup here. And it keeps the weight down as well, so I don't have to have two cameras on board, so just one camera, and then hopefully it's good enough quality, and I'll see that as time goes on. It'll also be my test of that camera, and I'm very curious to see how well this stacks up. And well, that's gonna conclude it for this video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are thinking of getting a model, especially if you're new to this, I think this is gonna be a great model. I will take it out flying very soon, but these with their inbuilt stabilizers and how easy you can get it running and get a feel for it before actually upgrading it to iNav, I don't recommend you begin by just immediately upgrading to iNav. You really have to get a feel for it before doing that, or else you might just wreck it on your first ever throw, which is something very possible. However, they are forgiving, but it just depends down on your luck. So overall, it looks like a nice one. I'm very satisfied with it. The only thing that's really upsetting me is the wing. So I'm gonna see if I can contact Zohd and see what's up with that, and I can go about fixing it, and then we'll take it from there, and I'll update you guys in the part 2 of this video when we take this guy out. And well, that's it, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.